Did you know that your morning cup of tea or coffee could be silently sabotaging your health after age 65, even if you've been enjoying it your entire life? It sounds surprising, almost unbelievable, but there's growing evidence that some of the most common daily habits we cherish can carry hidden risks once we reach our golden years. If you've ever experienced unexplained fatigue, restless nights, or sudden spikes in blood pressure, your beloved hot drink could be part of the problem. Today, you're going to discover the hidden dangers of drinking tea and coffee after 65, facts that most people never talk about, and that even your doctor might not mention unless you ask. Stay with me until the end, because I'm saving the most overlooked danger for last, and it might be the single biggest factor standing between you and vibrant health in your later years. Maybe you're thinking, I've been drinking tea or coffee for decades, how can it suddenly become risky? That's precisely the trap. Our bodies change as we age, and what was harmless at 40 could now be pushing your blood pressure into risky territory at 70, disrupting your sleep patterns, or even blocking vital nutrients you need for strong bones. Coffee and tea are both loaded with compounds that interact with your heart, stomach, and nervous system in ways you might never have considered. Right now, millions of older adults unknowingly suffer from dehydration, calcium deficiency, or irregular heart rhythms that worsen simply because of the way they consume these beverages. But here's the good news, understanding these hidden dangers is the first step to enjoying your favorite morning drink more responsibly, keeping your energy up, and protecting your well-being for years to come. Let's talk about why this is so critical. After 65, small habits can make the difference between feeling full of energy and feeling constantly run down. Research shows that our metabolism, bone density, and immune function all change in ways that make us more vulnerable to deficiencies and chronic conditions. For instance, your kidneys might not handle caffeine and other compounds the same way they did a few decades ago. Your stomach could be more prone to irritation. If you're on medication for blood pressure, osteoporosis, or anxiety, that daily mug could be interfering with how those drugs work, potentially reducing their effectiveness or amplifying side effects. And if you ignore these subtle shifts, thinking, I've always been fine drinking coffee, you could be inviting complications that quietly build up over time. That's why so many specialists now advise caution for seniors, recommending changes in portion size, timing, and even the type of drink you choose. But we're not here just to scare you. In fact, you'll find that each potential danger comes with a clear solution, a small tweak here, a simple adjustment there, and you can continue to savor your favorite brew without compromising your health. Yes, you can keep enjoying the comforting morning ritual, but you must do it in a way that supports your body's changing needs. Let's dive into these hidden risks one by one, so you'll know exactly how to protect yourself. First, consider how coffee and tea can contribute to dehydration. It's true that they contain water, so you might assume they're hydrating. But both drinks also contain caffeine, a known diuretic that can cause your kidneys to produce more urine than usual. For younger adults in good health, this is rarely a serious issue. However, after 65, your body's ability to regulate fluid balance diminishes. You may not sense thirst as strongly or as quickly as you once did. So, if you rely on multiple cups of coffee or tea to get through the day, you could unknowingly be tipping toward mild dehydration. This is especially problematic if you live in a warm climate, if you're physically active, or if you take medications that also affect fluid levels, such as diuretics for blood pressure. The result? Chronic tiredness, dizziness, and possibly an increased risk of urinary tract infections. The fix, though, is simple. For every cup of coffee or tea, match it with an equal amount of water, especially if you plan on having more than 1 cup a day. And if you want to cut back on caffeine's diuretic effect, consider switching to herbal tea or decaf for at least part of your daily intake. But dehydration isn't the only hazard. Caffeine also affects your cardiovascular system, and not always in a good way. Many seniors experience elevated blood pressure, irregular heartbeats, or palpitations that can worsen with increased caffeine intake. In fact, medical professionals often encourage older patients to monitor their coffee or tea consumption if they have a history of hypertension or arrhythmias. You might feel a racing heart or shortness of breath if you drink too much. Or, it could be more subtle, a mild fluttering in your chest you never noticed before. That's your body signaling that something isn't right. Over time, these smaller symptoms can contribute to bigger issues like atrial fibrillation or unpredictable spikes in blood pressure. Now, you don't necessarily need to eliminate caffeine entirely. Some people can still manage a single cup in the morning without trouble. But if you've noticed your blood pressure edging upward or more frequent heart palpitations, scaling back the strength of your coffee or choosing a tea with lower caffeine content could help keep your cardiovascular system more stable. It's a small but effective way to lower health risks you might not even be aware you have. Another hidden pitfall: potential interference with nutrient absorption. As we get older, our bones become more susceptible to thinning, and many seniors already struggle to get enough calcium. Studies have shown that both coffee and certain types of tea contain compounds called polyphenol that bind to minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, making them harder for your body to absorb. The more you rely on caffeinated beverages, especially close to meal times, the greater the risk that you're robbing yourself of essential nutrients. This, in turn, can exacerbate or hasten the onset of osteoporosis and anemia. If you take a calcium supplement or a multivitamin, your daily tea or coffee could be reducing its effectiveness. Imagine carefully taking your daily dose of essential vitamins only to have them partly cancelled out. Fortunately, you can address this simply by timing your hot drinks differently. If you wait an hour or two after a meal or supplement, you'll give your digestive system a better chance to absorb what it needs. And if you're already at risk for osteoporosis or anemia, a quick conversation with a nutritionist or healthcare provider can guide you on the best schedule for tea, coffee, and supplements. Now, if you've ever experienced heartburn, acid reflux, or an unsettled stomach, you probably already suspect that coffee and tea might be culprits. As we age, our digestive tract becomes more sensitive to irritation. Coffee especially is acidic and can aggravate conditions like gastritis or ulcers. Tea, while generally milder, can still cause digestive discomfort if you have a sensitive stomach. Over time, chronic irritation can lead to reduced appetite, poorer nutrient intake, and a heightened risk of gastrointestinal bleeding if you're on certain medications. And let's not forget about the effect these drinks can have on your esophagus. Lying down too soon after drinking a highly acidic beverage can encourage acid reflux, which leads to potential damage over the long term. A practical solution is choosing lower acid coffee blends, or adding a small amount of milk to neutralize the acid. If you're a tea drinker, opting for gentle varieties like chamomile or rooibos, while not technically tea leaves, can soothe the stomach rather than irritate it. Also, consider spacing your drinks at least 30 minutes before lying down to help reduce that burning sensation in your chest. We also need to talk about sleep disruption. It's no secret that caffeine can keep you awake, but its effects on older adults can be much more pronounced. Caffeine can linger in your system for up to 8 hours, and as you age, your metabolism slows down. This means you might still feel alert, or suffer restless nights, even if you had your last cup of coffee at noon. Poor sleep then cascades into other health issues: higher blood pressure, reduced cognitive function, and a greater risk of depression. Even if you think you sleep fine, you may not be getting the deeper stages of sleep your body requires for memory consolidation and cellular repair. One simple approach is a cutoff time. Some experts recommend avoiding caffeine after 2 p.m. Another is choosing half-caff blends or decaf in the afternoon to reduce the overall load on your nervous system. If insomnia or interrupted sleep is already an issue for you, keep a sleep journal and track how caffeine intake correlates with restless nights. You might be surprised at the patterns that emerge. A lesser-known danger involves interactions with medications, especially for seniors who may be on multiple prescriptions. Caffeine can amplify or reduce the effectiveness of certain drugs. For instance, it can increase the side effects of stimulant medications, or it might interfere with drugs designed to regulate heart rate or calm anxiety. Tea, on the other hand, especially green or black tea, contains substances like tannins and theanine that may alter how your body metabolizes certain medications. If you're taking an iron supplement, the tannins in black tea can hamper its absorption. If you're on anti-anxiety medication, large amounts of caffeine could directly counteract its calming effects. This is where a detailed conversation with your doctor becomes essential. They might advise spacing out your medications and your daily cups of tea or coffee, or even suggest particular beverage choices that pose fewer risks. For instance, an herbal tea without tannins might be a safer bet than strong black tea if you need to optimize iron absorption. An often overlooked aspect: the sugar and extras that creep into these beverages. Many seniors develop a sweet tooth for tea or coffee with added sugar, creamers, flavored syrups, or artificial sweeteners. Over time, these can contribute to weight gain, inflammation, and spikes in blood glucose levels, especially if you're managing diabetes or prediabetes. Sugar-free sweeteners aren't always a better choice, as some studies suggest they might disrupt gut bacteria or encourage sugar cravings. If you need sweetness, try a small amount of honey or an alternative like stevia in moderation, and always be mindful of portion sizes. Your morning cup can easily transform into a dessert-like treat if you're not watching how much sugar or creamer you add, raising your daily calorie intake and destabilizing your blood sugar control. And here's a danger few people anticipate: the psychological dependency. After 65, emotional well-being is crucial. Many seniors use coffee or tea as a comfort ritual, something warm to hold, a reason to sit quietly, or a way to socialize with friends. That's not inherently bad. But when you rely too heavily on the emotional lift of caffeine to cope with stress, loneliness, or fatigue, you might be masking underlying issues that need real attention. If coffee becomes your only energy source, you might ignore signals that your body is craving better nutrition, more rest, or medical help. If you find yourself anxious or irritable until you get your caffeine fix, that could be a sign that the habit has become more than just a minor preference. Learning to separate the soothing aspect of a hot drink from the chemical jolt of caffeine can help you maintain better emotional balance. You could incorporate decaf or herbal teas, or find alternative rituals like light stretching, gardening, or short walks to boost your mood without over-reliance on a stimulant. Now, here's the biggest shocker that few talk about: certain tea blends and coffee roasts can contain contaminants like heavy metals, pesticides, or mold toxins, sometimes in small amounts, but still significant enough to affect older adults over time. As the years go by, repeated exposure can accumulate in your tissues, potentially contributing to neurological issues or immune system strain. You might have heard warnings about lead in certain imported teas or mycotoxins in cheap coffee beans. While these contaminants are typically below dangerous levels for a healthy adult, seniors with reduced detoxification ability or compromised immunity are at higher risk. That's why it's crucial to choose high-quality, well-sourced products. Look for coffee brands that specifically test for mold, or select tea brands known for rigorous purity standards. Spending a little extra on quality can pay huge dividends in protecting your long-term health, especially once you're past 65. If you're still here, you're probably wondering, so what's the bottom line? Am I supposed to give up coffee and tea entirely? Not necessarily. But you do need to adjust your approach. Be mindful of how many cups you drink, and at what time of day. Pair your drinks with water, and be aware that as your metabolism and body systems change, your daily tolerance may be lower than it was in your 50s or 60s. If you experience new symptoms like heartburn, anxiety, palpitations, or difficulty sleeping, try reducing or swapping out caffeinated options. Consult with your doctor or a nutritionist about any prescription drugs you take to make sure you're not undercutting their effectiveness. And consider paying more attention to the quality of the products you buy. Cheap tea bags and discount coffee might save you money in the short run, but the hidden contaminants could cost your health in the long term. So here we are at the most important takeaway: your body is evolving, and it's up to you to evolve with it. That innocent cup of tea or coffee might have served you well for years, but it can become risky if you don't adapt. The good news is that each challenge we've discussed today is manageable. From calcium-blocking compounds to dehydration, from disrupted sleep to drug interactions, once you identify the issue, you can find a solution that fits your lifestyle. You can still enjoy the aroma, the warmth, and the comfort that come with these treasured beverages, but in a way that safeguards your health. I want you to walk away from this video with renewed awareness and a game plan. Start by reviewing how much tea or coffee you drink daily. Then, test small changes, maybe skip that late afternoon cup, or switch to decaf after lunchtime. Pay close attention to how your body feels. Keep a note if certain symptoms improve when you reduce caffeine or change the type of beverage. If you're on medication, talk to your healthcare provider about the best timings. And always stay hydrated. Remember, being over 65 doesn't mean giving up on life's simple pleasures, it means enjoying them with wisdom and care. Your health is worth the few extra steps it takes to consume these drinks safely. So here's my question to you: what's one small change you can make today to ensure your next cup is a healthier choice? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what insights or personal experiences you have. If you found value in this video, go ahead and subscribe, ring that notification bell, and give this a thumbs up. Your feedback helps me keep creating content that matters to you. And if you want to learn even more about staying strong and energized after 65, check out my next video, where we'll dive into surprising tips for boosting joint health. Thank you for watching, and here's to savoring every cup while protecting the future of your well-being.